talking to Javed Yousuf of Silkbank in Pakistan, and you talked a little bit about your use of Temenos, specifically T24 and Insight Risk. And you mentioned that it was about an 18-month implementation process for T24, which expressed a bit of some audience members expressed surprise in that. What type of, can you describe a little bit about what that implementation process was like?
Yeah, thank you very much. In Pakistan, when we acquired this bank and named it as a Silk Bank, our target was to come up with the top of the line integrated banking system. At that time, we selected T24, but with the understanding that we are going to use the capabilities of the system rather than the existing processes which we are using and get them implemented into that system. And if we do this, then we end up in a loads of customization. So when the systems are being developed, they are developed with a numbers of years of experience and intellect by the developers, and also the banking experts are involved while they are developing the system. So we opted for the idea, rather than to change the processes within the system, we change our processes. So customization was very minimal, and we try to make sure that all the departments, all the units, all the business, all the back office functionalities adapt for the processes available within the system. And that was the key success factor of swift implementation of whole lots of products range of T24 within 18 months time.
So it's almost like you created a greenfield site for the system to be implemented in.
Seems to be.
You also mentioned a little bit about the process that you're going through to comply with directives based on Basel II. We won't even go into Basel III. But, so what is that stage at?
Actually, in Pakistan, I must say that the statutory compliance and the regulatory bodies are very strict and up to the curve. So the point which I would like to mention here, that most of the bankers in the Middle East region are also the senior bankers are from Pakistan, so they have the good in-depth knowledge of the banking, and the team which is running our, what you can say, our statutory requirement bank or our regulators is also very strict on these, and they know, and they give us ample enough time to comply with these things. So when it comes to the risk and all these things, I remember they used to come and say, do you have a risk framework? We say, yes, we have a risk framework. And they used to say, do you have a risk engine? We say, we don't have any risk engine. So this is not today's requirement. They were after every bank for almost 4 or 5 years. When the Basel II came, every bank has done the consultancy services from the experts so that they can see the gaps, where they stand, what they have to do, and how they can implement the right system and a platform. And luckily, when we were doing T24 implementation, T-Risk was the product at that time for the basic 2 pillars. But now, since the implementation was about to start, so Temenos have announced this product Insight, so T-Insight, so which is the key thing, and we have implemented it, and it has been accepted by our statutory body.
So another thing you mentioned during your presentation, which was interesting to me, sort of you pointed out the Islamic banking section of the bank, but you also mentioned that you're launching credit cards. So, I mean, go into a bit more detail about that.
Okay. Basically, the bank, Silk Bank, is what you can say retail. We have a retail banking, we have a consumer banking, we have a consumer portfolio of auto, we have a consumer mortgage portfolio, we are into the ready line, we are into the personal installment for complete suite of the consumer products. We are also providing the corporate services and the corporate business. We are doing the cash management and all these things. So all sorts of banking we have categorized, and strategic business units are there who are handling a complete suites of the banking. But recently we have launched our credit card, chip-based, EMV compliant, visa-based credit card. And we feel that this is the right time to enter into the market, because the market is about to take off in our region for these types of credits. And Islamic banking, of course, this was always on our agenda, and we have recently started implementation of the Islamic banking, and now we are creating a specific Islamic banking bank with the name of Iman Bank, which is going to work as a separate entity under the same group of the Silk Bank. And the Silk Bank will keep on acting as a conventional bank, which will be providing the commercial banking requirement of the customers.
So the Islamic banking section will be sort of ring-fenced off from the Silk Bank retail bank.
Oh yes, it has to be, because it will run on the same T24, but it has its own close of business, it has its own treasury, it has its own HO, it has its own GL. So there's no line of a business can get together, no money can get it here, or a credit can get there, or what you can say the capital can get there. So there is a definite, we have a Sharia to run any Islamic banking everywhere, and we have a board of a Sharia, which is the Islamic scholars, who provides the guidance how to get into the business of Islamic banking and other value-added products in the Islamic banking.
So are you the first to offer credit cards in Pakistan? No.
There are initially it was Citibank was a pioneer when we used to be there, and my boss used to be there, and there are 5-6 banks who are issuing these cards. Only 3 banks are issuing with the chip-based cards. So we would like to get with the more bells and whistles and customer-focused type of a card, which will definitely take off in the market.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.